Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast. Hawks lose 6-3 to the Vancouver Canucks at the United Center, but we still have the 2010s, so screw those guys. I'm Jay Zawoski with Greg Boyson. Nate's here. Sarah's here. The gang's all here. The chat is active. The chat is lively. Do us a favor. If you're in the chat, smash that like button for us. Make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube page as well. And if you're catching up later on the podcast, do us a favor and subscribe. Leave us a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. All that will result in more goals for the Blackhawks. So the more you do it, the better the Blackhawks will be. Well, we were discussing the show here pre-show rather, and basically the first period is going to be a segment of its own because that was basically the game. 4-2 at the end of the first period. Vancouver got out to a 2-0 lead, including a goal 20 seconds into the game. The Hawks respond well with a bunch of nice shifts in a row, then take a penalty. It's 2-0 Vancouver. Ryan Donato gets him back in. Then it looks like there's a play offside. 3-1 Vancouver. It was just kind of a weird night altogether. Taylor Hall scored, made it 3-2. Then Connor Garland scores, it's 4-2. And that's the end of the first period. So let's start there, Greg, with the slow start. And this is a trend. And look, they had overall, you look at the numbers, the first period was pretty solid for the Blackhawks. But yet again, they start the game from behind. And it has plagued this team forever. Even in the games they play well, like Buffalo, the slow start dooms them from the very beginning.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the overall numbers of the first period, it was by far their best 5-on-5 period of the game. 22 shot attempts to 15 against. Scoring chances were even 10-10. Canucks had a high danger scoring chance advantage 5-4. Almost 60% Corsi for. It was by far their best overall period, but those first 2 minutes did them in. And then you had the third goal, which we'll get into. I don't know how that counted. And the fourth goal, that was now the game-winning goal. 7 guys on the ice.
Seven.
So it felt like the Blackhawks were fighting off 3 entities in that first. They were battling themselves.
There's no
first
doubt.
and foremost. They were battling the Canucks, who are a very good hockey team, the winners of 3 straight road games now. Your reigning Pacific Division champions. And they had to battle the referees. I don't blame referees for wins and losses, but they did the Blackhawks no favor in that first period. The offside was explained. I don't fully understand how a guy's 2 feet could be in the zone and the puck is out of the zone and it's not offside. To me, that's offside.
So here's the explanation. As a Situation Room noted, this is effectively a delayed offside. Let's break it down. This was sent to me by Twitter user Brian K. I'm trying to find out exactly where he got this from, but clearly he pulled it from somewhere. Sherwood is the player who was offside, is in the attacking zone. He pushes the puck into the neutral zone, creating a delayed offside. He's allowed to play the puck in the neutral zone, which he does. As the puck crosses the blue line into the attacking zone, we're still looking at a delayed offside until he touches the puck. Sherwood tags up, his skates touching the blue line, making this a legal onside play.
None of that happened.
But here's the thing. If your feet are in the offensive zone and the puck leaves the offensive zone and you pull it back in, that's offside. That is by very definition offside.
It's a bad rule. If that's the rule, that needs to be changed.
I'm reading this. I know what all these words mean. It doesn't make sense in the explanation. From everything I've watched hockey, I've been a hockey fan. I'm 46. I've been a hockey fan for 32 years. I've never, as long as I've ever understood offside, that is offside.
Well, this is part of the byproduct of introducing replay into the game for offsides. Much like with catches in the NFL, you've now taken a black and white, did he catch the ball, is he offside, and turned it into this, 50 Shades of Gray, not the sexy one, of muddled mess, interpretations of rules. Like, to me, that looked offsides. If the rules say, if some weird rule says that that's not offside, then change the effing rule because it's a bad rule.
So if you listen to What Chaos, and I listened to both episodes today of What Chaos, so I don't know if it was yesterday's episode or today's, but Petey was on with them, our pal Steve Peters. I sent him this video. He's working a double shift tonight, so he wasn't able to look at it just yet. He's going to give us info as soon as he gets it. So hopefully we'll have something for him on tomorrow's show from Petey. Maybe he can join us. Maybe he can send us an explanation, but I don't understand it. I would love to get an explanation. Again, everything I've seen that defines offside, that was it.
Right.
Player in the zone, puck out of the zone, player in the zone touches puck out of the zone, offside.
Yeah. And so I don't get that one. And then the fourth goal was egregious. That's the
7 players.
The league needs to look at that play, look at the 2 linesmen who are in charge of that, and then tell those guys, you know what? You're going to take a week off without pay because you blew it.
Get up there with Philip Kurashev, jerks.
Yeah. So all that aside.
Yeah. It's it. And I heard Troy in the intermission saying it's all true, but it's all an excuse.
And
Get
to the
over it and fix
Blackhawks'
it.
credit, in that first period, every time something went wrong, they had a response. They came back. But that first 2 minutes cost them, you're down 2-0. You could have been down 3 or 4-0 because that first shift you give up the goal. Second shift, they get a just beautiful chance right in front that Mrazek made the save. Then they missed another shot. And I know we see it here. It's all over Twitter. The slow starts, the coaching is going to get blamed for it. And they do deserve some of the blame. But first shift, who's on the ice?
Bedard, Foligno, Teravainen.
Nick Foligno, the captain of your team.
Kaiser and Jones.
The guy all season last year would get in front of the cameras and say everybody else has to be better. Things got to get better in the offseason. Guy that gets to handpick half the roster, he's not answering the bell. Seth Jones doesn't answer the bell on first shift. Second shift, where they get 2 prime scoring chances. Who's out there? Jason Dickinson,
Yep.
Another guy. Every time in front of a camera last season, it's got to be better. Everybody else has to be better.
And it's his penalty.
And then it's his penalty. Start pointing the thumb at you guys.
Yep.
Point it at yourselves the next time you get in front of a camera and want to talk about people with slow starts. Those are your veteran leaders. Those are the guys that all stood there in April and said, we can't accept this. And then you go out there and piss down your leg on your first shifts.
Hey.
So I don't know if that's Luke Richardson's fault, but some of these guys, these veteran leaders, the guys that stood up there and pounded the podium and said, it's got to be better, you have to be better.
Yes. -1, 20 seconds into the game. Foligno, Jones, Teravainen. Bedard and Kaiser also on the ice.
I don't know what.
And I'm not taking any blame away from those 2 guys either. But
I'm not sure what Wyatt Kaiser was doing on that first shift.
Well, I don't know why he was
there.
It was maybe Vlasic was pooping or something. I don't know what the story was, but Vlasic was with Jones like the rest of the game. It was very strange. And look, I understand. And I was talking to Greg like, hey man, maybe we need to start having this Richardson conversation soon. But your point's correct. Luke Richardson has been very clear about starting the game strong.
I don't know what he's supposed to do.
He can't go out there and play for these guys.
He's not the one with failed clears on the first shift that end up in the back of your net. He's not the one taking
he's not coaching
garbage penalties when you get you finally have 2 good shifts back to back with your top 2 lines, getting some offensive pressure, and then Jason Dickinson takes a meaningless tripping penalty in the neutral zone, a lazy stick penalty.
Yep.
I don't know how you can blame that on Luke Richardson. There are some things that definitely can be that he could wear. Like the defensive effort as a whole tonight was hot garbage.
The zone exits were horrible.
Tomorrow's practice needs to be 60 minutes of zone exits, nothing else, because it was terrible.
Yeah.
That's bad execution. Maybe you need to make adjustments on your systems here, or figure out a way to get some more help because it's bad. So.
And all that said,
the first period was still their best period.
Exactly. Nick Foligno has, first of all, Tyler Bertuzzi has a shot that hits the post and dribbles on the blue line. Doesn't go in. He later hits Lankinen in the face with the shot. Connor Bedard is all alone in front, and Lankinen stops him. Third period, Bedard sets up Foligno beautifully, and Lankinen slides across the crease and stops it. And you mentioned the fancy stats. If you're one of those people that lives and dies by the fancy stats, the Hawks had the advantage in this game, significantly so. It's and do we need to go to the deserve to win meter? We haven't done that yet. let's check.
I don't even know that website.
That is Money Puck.
Money Puck. Okay.
Let's see if we can find deserve to win meter. Well, they're giving it to Vancouver, so fine.
Well, they did deserve to win that game,
of course.
Overall, because Vancouver played better than the Hawks in the second period and much of the third period.
Well, and see that's another thing, and I know we're still here on the first period, but like you're pissed off. Nick Foligno, after that 7 men on the ice thing, if you're watching I noticed it right away. As soon as the reason I tweeted it, I think they thought it was offside, was because as soon as the Canucks cross the line, all the Hawks are banging their stick on the board, trying to get the ref's attention. Then Vancouver scores maybe 5-10 seconds later. Foligno jumps off the bench, skates over to the linesman, starts giving them the business, but the Hawks can't do anything about it because they don't have the challenge because of the earlier thing. So it's just, you come up, so then you're heading to the first period, you're pissed off, you feel like you got robbed by the referees, you feel like the game should be tied, and then you come out in the second period and you're flat as crap to start the second. It's mind-boggling, and part of it looks like guys trying to do too much, and I do think that's a little bit part of it, and overthinking and making that extra pass, but man, it's also just sloppy. Just clean it up, tight, passes on the tape, boom, crisp. Stop trying to make the extra stick handle. Stop trying to be cute and chip it up the boards when you're pressured. Make the pucks around the board hard, clear it. If you don't have a play, live the fight another day. They're not doing that, and it's very, very frustrating. And this game, I'm sure the players are frustrated. I'm sure the coaches are frustrated. I'm sure everybody watching this is frustrated. But holy cow, like that.
This is a good team. The Canucks are a very good team. This isn't the San Jose Sharks. You were able to get away with some things in the Sharks, and you felt good after that win. But, then the first period of the Buffalo game kind of knocked you down a peg. And then the second and third period of Buffalo were really good. So then you got thinking, okay, we know what we're doing. Like you can't coast from one game to the next. Well, we played last game. So, the Vancouver Canucks are the best team they've played so far this season.
No, there's no doubt about it.
And they showed it. The talent gap was huge between these two teams. So just there are so many things, as you said, Jay, they have to do the simple things better. Exit the zone better. Better passes. It seems that every pass is just a chore to get it on somebody's tape. It's always on the back skate, or it's a foot and a half ahead of them, or it bounces over the stick. Like it seems like on nights like tonight, even the easiest things are a chore and hard to do. So, get back on the practice ice tomorrow. Practice on Thursday if you have to too. The Nashville Predators are in town. Did they win tonight? They're the only team in the league that hasn't won a game heading into the night. They're playing Boston tonight. I'll have to check that score. But you beat the Predators. End this homestand on a high note. I know the Predators should be, they're better on paper than you, but they've struggled this season. They're up 4-0. Okay, good. Get that first win out of your system. I didn't want them to come here as the only team left winless because I didn't want to be the first team to lose to them. But burn the tape. Get out and practice tomorrow. Have a nice hard practice and start over and start the game on time.
That would be nice. All right, a lot more to come. Do we have any super chats, Nate? We do. Great. We're going to get to those on the other side of the break. We're also going to tell you about the 3 stars and your options for 4-star coming up next on CHGO Blackhawks. But first, whether it's pro or college, the app to bet football is Circa Sports Illinois. Circa Sports, it's sports betting the way it should be. Circa Sports Illinois has high betting limits, low holds, and exceptional customer service. Bet on all your favorite teams in every game this season. Spreads, props, futures, or in-game, Circa Sports has it. Fund and bet like a pro from anywhere, anytime in Illinois. Download your new bookie today at circusports.com. Must be 21 or older. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, and you know how to make gambling on sports even better?
How?
Being at the sporting event you're wagering your paycheck on in person.
Interesting.
Yes, and Game Time is where you go when you want to get tickets to that sporting event, concert, theater, or comedy show. And Game Time has this new feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets for your favorite live events even easier. Game Time Picks filters out all the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Plus, they have this awesome all-in pricing where if you toggle this feature, it shows you all the total price with the fees already added to the ticket, so you don't get any of those last-minute surprises when you're checking out. Looking at what's coming up, if you want to go see the Hawks, Friday night hockey at the United Center, regardless of the records of the team, a Friday night at a hockey game is always a good time. $35 gets you in the door. You can get the Bulls home opener against Oklahoma City on Saturday night, only $41. Go see the Bull play some basketball. Looking ahead, November 17th, Bears-Packers, Soldier Field. That's going to be a good game. That's a little more of a pricey ticket.
Bears,
$341 on Game Time.
That is $1 for every point the Bears will score.
Also, you can get your panoramic view from your seat on the app before you buy, so you know exactly what the view is, the low price guarantee. Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference if you find a similar seat on a different site for cheaper. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use CHGO for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account, redeem the code CHGO for $20 off. Download Game Time today. What time is it?
Game time.
It's game time. I want to do that with Will Perdue next time he's
That'd
in
be
the
fun.
studio.
And I want him to swat me as I try to dunk.
That probably wouldn't be too difficult.
All right, we're throwing the production team a curveball here. Petey is calling in right now to explain the offsides call. Do we have those photos, gang? Okay. We can bring Petey in now real quick, and while we get those pictures ready. Or maybe we should hit our super chats. What should we do, guys? All right, they're working on it.
Okay.
We'll talk amongst ourselves. Do us a favor, though. In the meantime, hit that like button. I do have a little bit of a... As people in the chat are talking about, you got to fire Luke Richardson, you got to move on. And I was in that space today a little bit for a while. What specifically are you blaming Luke Richardson for execution-wise? Right? Yes, the slow starts are bad. We acknowledge that, but that isn't it up to the players, right? Those sort of things. I don't know. I'd like to hear some specifics about what Luke specifically is doing wrong for those people. All right, are we good to bring Petey in? All right.
It's our guy, Petey.
Hi, Petey.
The MVP of the All-City Hockey Network.
Hey, guys, what's going on? And other than another tough night for the Blackhawks, and there are a couple of bright spots. I know it's all doom and gloom there, but there are some good things happening. That team plays fast. They get to the net hard. There are some bright spots. They got to limit those turnovers, though.
Everybody's got to get traded. Nope, no positives.
No, we're doing that again.
Allowed. Not allowed in our chat, Petey.
I forget,
out of here with this nonsense.
This is Chicago. I'm so used to Arizona where we're used to losing, and it's fine. We don't fire anybody. Just keep playing. No, it's those little details that Chicago just ends up suffering for you. The turnovers in their own end from the blue line end, they can't get out of their own end, and unfortunately, they all end up in their own net. Like it's just they make a mistake in their own end, and it ends up in the net. And I got to say that this offside call, Jay, had me befuddled. But I got explanation.
Okay, so I don't think we have the photos ready yet. But it is
fresh. We can talk about other stuff.
It is fresh in everyone's mind. So I think even without the use of the photos for now, we can get an explanation. I'm pretty sure. Okay,
so what everybody was concerned about, including myself when you first sent it to me, is that the Vancouver player clearly has his body and his feet across the blue line, and the puck comes out into the neutral zone, clearly crosses the line as in the white. We all saw it, comes out of the zone. As that same player taps the puck across the blue line, and this is where it gets tricky. you have to watch his feet. Because when the puck crosses the blue line, he does not touch the puck with his stick until his feet touch the blue line. And at that point, he has tagged up, and now he can play the puck.
Okay.
So he never touched the puck inside the offensive zone until his feet were back and cleared the blue line.
But okay. But he pulled the puck back. His feet are in the
but he doesn't touch it again. But he doesn't touch the puck again. When the puck clears the other side into the offensive zone, and again, clears where there's white space in the offensive side of the puck, his stick is not touching the puck at that point, and his stick does not touch the puck again until his feet have tagged up on the blue line, and he is now clear to touch that puck.
Okay, so if he
never touched the puck with his stick once it crossed the blue line into the offensive zone. And that's what the pictures would show, Jay. And I get the frustration. I get it. And I talk to video guys. I actually talk to people I probably shouldn't talk to live during the game. And and this is what was said. And the first explanation was that player had possession of the puck, and they were calling that possession. And I disagreed with that because I don't think he had possession. And you can see it clearly comes out, but as it crosses the blue line, the other side on the picture of the right, his stick isn't touching the puck. So it's not offside until his stick touches the puck. And if we could see that, if we did get to the one more picture, I know it's hard to get on backgrounds, and I'm sorry, I'm so slow, but that's the rule on the offside. There he is now. His foot is tagged up. His stick has still not touched the puck. He's tagged up on the blue line. Now he's free and available to play that puck in the offensive zone.
Still in the zone.
One is what matters.
But just one. One just has to touch the blue line.
Yep, just has to touch the blue line. You just have to break the plane. His toe touches the blue line. It breaks the plane before his stick touches the puck in the offensive zone. It is considered playable puck from there. It is live. Right. As long as his stick does not. We saw it in the playoffs with Cale Makar. The exact same thing happened to Colorado in the playoffs 2 years ago, where he clearly offsides. But no, he does not touch the puck once it crosses the blue line with his stick until his feet touch the blue.
Do you like that rule, Petey? Or do you think the player needs to completely come out and back in so it's clear as day?
Yeah, I would like to see that happen that way. Yes. It was a very questionable call. When Jay sent this to me a little while ago, I as a video coach that had to make those calls, I'm throwing the flag instantly. Like, there is no doubt in my mind that play is offside. Absolutely confident. And I know, and I'll tell you this, I'm pretty sure both video coaches in this game on both sides of the ledger thought this play was going to be called back. I believe it. And because it was, until you got it explained, I talked to officials, and because he did not touch the puck with his stick until he cleared it and tagged up, it was not considered offside. So by the letter of the law, unfortunately, it's not offside. And here's the end of the story for Blackhawk fans. It doesn't matter. Like really, this isn't if this is a 2-1 game in overtime, I'm freaking out. There are a lot more things that need to be cleaned up right now for the Chicago Blackhawks. This is a big problem. I'm glad we got to address it because I know people were really angry about it, as I would be too. But I just say fire everybody.
Attaboy,
right,
Petey.
yes.
Attaboy. Welcome
Thanks,
to the
guys.
CHGO chat.
Petey, you're the man. Thank you so much.
Petey.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate having me on. Hope it helped.
It did.
Guys.
Thanks so much, man. Petey's the best. That's why we love him. That's why we employ him.
Yes.
He's the greatest of all time.
It sucks everything that happened with the Coyotes, but we get to benefit because now we can say, "Hey, Petey, what are you doing?" and he'll jump on.
Yeah. My only beef about it, and he explained it correctly, and I trust Petey.
It's the correct interpretation of a shitty rule.
Yeah. I mean, you're whatever. I'm not going to rehash it.
I'm more upset about the 7 guys on the ice.
Yeah, that one's
because
tough.
that one is more black and white, concrete. Hey, that is clearly illegal. Do something about it.
Yeah.
That I'm more upset about. But as Petey said, you still gave up 6 goals.
Yeah.
Even if you take those 2 away, you still lose this game 4-3.
All right. Well, all right. I know, Nate, we're throwing a lot at you here. Your first time running the show. Let's get these super chats in. I promised him. But we got to make room for Petey when he takes time. He worked a doubleheader tonight and still did that for us, which is huge, and we really, really appreciate it. So we're going to get to those here in a second. Remember, Mario is going to join us as well here, too, in a second. Got a super chat here from Tyler Johnson. Could be that one. He says, hate to be this guy, but I'm officially concerned Bedard is too predictable with his glove side shot. 1 goal in 7 games. He did have great setups, though. Okay. Connor Bedard had 6 shots on goal and 9 shot attempts. Jason with a $5 super chat says, best comment I saw is Luke is a 2x4. Show some gusto, passion. I'm not saying be torch, but come on. Also, we don't hit. Sherwood had 12. We had 16 total. Sure. Finish checks more. I get that. I didn't notice Sherwood like destroying people tonight, but that was.
I mean, I was surprised the Blackhawks had the puck enough for one guy to have 12 hits.
The coach fire and passion thing is.
It's overrated.
Does John Cooper show fire and passion?
Rarely.
But when he does,
makes...
did Bill Belichick show fire and passion? Tom Landry?
Guys like that who do that constantly usually have an effect on a team, and then within 2 years, they're gone. Why do you think John Tortorella has had so many jobs? Why do you think Mike Keenan had so many jobs? They were really good that first 2 years, and then eventually, Daryl Sutter is another one of those guys. Like, eventually players are like, oh, there he goes yelling at us again. So if you do it constantly, it eventually wears off. Now I agree. Maybe some more. Maybe
get at the ref.
Yeah, maybe, I would like to see maybe him. On that blown call. I mean, I wasn't as keen from the perch as you were noticing that going on, but maybe get on the front of the belt. Maybe grab your nuts like Coach Q did. Do something. I agree with that, but like just. Screaming and yelling. I mean, we saw Jim Montgomery do that the other night with Brad Marchand. Got in his ear, actually, like kind of gave him a whack on the bench. I don't know if you saw that in the last game. How'd that work? Bruins are losing 4-0 to the only team in the league without a win. So maybe sometimes it doesn't. I understand the idea, the thought behind it, that if things are going wrong, you want to see your coach kind of have some, a little passion, a little fire into passion. That's just not who Luke is.
No,
but he will. I'm going to be interesting to see what his demeanor is tonight. In post game.
Honest to God, dude, 23 years at the score. The fire and passion from the coach thing is the most effing base conversation in the world. Come on, be better than that. That is such weak crap. That coach needs to chuck a stick at a player and punch him in the face and be angry. Come on. Be a smarter fan than that. And I know you guys are smarter than that. And I know you're pissed off after a bad game, and rightfully so. We're pissed off after a bad game too. But this whole, the coach needs to yell and scream thing, what is that going to do? The same people are pissed that Philip Kurashev got benched for playing like ass against Buffalo. So there's your consequence. Right. What's more meaningful? Luke going in there and flipping over a Gatorade table, or saying, hey, you who thought you had a job secure for 82 games, you were not good enough and you're sitting. Hey, Craig Smith, veteran of 150 NHL seasons, you had a horrible turnover in the game in Utah. You're sitting for 2 games. Hey, Lucas Reichel, you played like ass this preseason. It's taking you 4 games to get in the lineup this season. That is consequence. That is accountability. No, you can't scratch everybody. Unfortunately, you can't scratch the entire team, but more scratches are coming. I guarantee you in the next game, there's going to be different players sitting, and rightfully so. Athanasiou could sit. I'm down with that. Seth Jones had a horrible effing game tonight.
I'm okay if Athanasiou doesn't play another game this season. He is my least favorite player on this team because he brings a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah, and I mean, Bears in the chat says yelling at them will get them fired up. No, it won't. No, it won't. It's not good. It is. They are professionals. Nick Foligno is the captain of his team, is paid $4 million. He shouldn't need Luke Richardson in his ear yelling at him to get him fired up. Are you kidding? These are professionals. Guys, where is the accountability for the players? The players. They're the ones starting games poorly. That is not Luke Richardson's system. I promise you. Starting slow is not Luke Richardson's system. There's things to evaluate. We talked about it all training camp, all preseason. Yes, this is a big year for Luke Richardson, but nothing in this game is Luke Richardson's fault. I know you like these guys. I know you like Nick Foligno. We all like Nick Foligno. I like Nick Foligno too. He's the captain. With that comes responsibility, and there's been too many slow starts this year. Maybe it's time for him to get in someone's ear. Maybe it's time for a players only meeting. I don't know.
Maybe it's time for someone to get in Nick Foligno's ear.
Well, maybe. I don't know. I know it's time for the break zone. We're getting yelled at. So we got to hit the break zone here on CHGO Blackhawks.
Perfect time for the Just Choose Chill ad.
Yeah, I'm going to choose chill when I get home. Holy moly. Between no fire and passion, and the coach needs to yell at people to get them fired up.
See,
it's no
I'm
wonder.
all fired up now. I'm ready to run through a brick wall. Maybe they're on to something.
Maybe.
You yelled at me. I'm ready to go score a goal, damn it.
I yelled to you, not at you. I said you're acting crazy, not you are crazy. It's different.
Oh, boy.
What?
That reminds me of 3 straight nights on the couch.
All right. Well, why not turn a spousal argument into a karaoke house party instead? Oh, boy. It's time to make the choice to choose chill. Then reach for a Coors Light. It's mountain cold refreshment. You know by now that Coors Light is the ultimate beer when you choose chill. When those mountains turn blue, it is as cold as the Rockies. And when you embrace a chill mindset, it's a good time to choose chill and crack open a Coors Light. Make the most out of the times that you choose to chill. Choose Coors Light. Get some icy cold Coors Light delivered straight to your door right now with Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/CHGO Hockey. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hey, we're also sponsored these days by the Chicago Sports Network, the new home of the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox games. CHSN will broadcast more than 300 live games per year across the Blackhawks, Bulls, and White Sox, and will feature a full lineup of original Chicago-focused sports content. They're also Chicago-based, Chicago-built, and Chicago to the core. And they're bringing it to every corner of Chicago. Are you, though? Across our 77 neighborhoods and beyond at CHSN. Chicago comes first. Visit CHSN.com for more info on how to watch the Bulls, the Hawks, and the Sox games all season long. That's SN.
CHSN __ on Twitter. Not us. CHSN. All right, let's go out to the United Center. Mario was in the locker room and heard from Luke Richardson. Let's bring him in here now. Mario. Well, how did that go?
Less yelling than in the time that I've been in the waiting room hearing from you guys.
Richardson yell at anybody and turn the whole season around?
No, not that I know of. Not that we heard. Those locker room doors are pretty heavy and airtight, but was a little bit of a wait to get into the room, but I think that's to be expected after the way this game went. It was entirely frustrating on many different levels, both from an execution standpoint by the Blackhawks and from an officiating standpoint, which was a theme throughout the night. Yeah, I mean, Taylor Hall spoke after the game, Nick Foligno spoke after the game, and Luke Richardson, and pretty much, you know, the messaging across the board was a really bad start to the game. 20 seconds in, you're down 1-0, and you're playing catch up the entire game. And yeah, you know, you push back, you get a couple goals, but you know, it's still trying to do too much too often to get back into the games. This is a team that needs to every now and then throw the first punch and see what that feels like. Play with the lead early in the game rather than having to chase it. And you know, it just this was the first real bad game this season. And you know, for as many times as you know, this team has been in games, even if the score was, you know, 4-2 or 5-3 or whatever, this was one where it didn't feel as close as 6-3. Like when it was 6-2, I was like, yeah, that feels about right. Getting that power play goal at the end of the game, it felt good for the people who were still in the arena to see the goal, but it didn't matter. I mean, the effort and execution tonight was poor, and Richardson, you know, addressed the start, the execution by the entire team. You know, Foligno and Hall spoke about that, about how, you know, the Canucks forced a lot of the turnovers and the poor puck possession, especially in the Blackhawks' own zone. But, you know, they also acknowledged and, you know, said that a lot of it was, you know, self-inflicted. Like they didn't Taylor Hall spoke about, the wing play tonight and how they weren't effective in getting pucks out of the zone and getting it into transition through the neutral zone, and sustaining offensive zone time was just wasn't there tonight. So all around a really rough game. They're going to practice tomorrow, and I assume that film session is not going to be fun for pretty much everybody, because there really wasn't a lot of bright spots. Tyler Bertuzzi had a good game, a little bit, got the power play goal, but other than that, it was rough all around.
We don't usually play post-game stuff, but everything's ready to go that you sent. Let's pick one of these to play. What do you think was the most meaningful?
Well, yeah, I think it makes most sense coming from Luke tonight. I know that's someone everyone wants to hear from. The Foligno presser was quintessential Nick Foligno, so I think you could go with Richardson here, and we'll get the full scope of everything.
Let's hear from Luke Richardson. We'll get back to Mario Tirabassi here in a second at the United Center.
The way this one started tonight, how tough is it when 20 seconds in and you're already down 1-0 and trying to come back?
Yeah, I thought, the start was unfortunate. Like the first, when you get scored on the first shift, you kind of get on your heel. But obviously, they must have sensed that. I thought they had a really good job of moving in our O-zone, and it created a lot of confusion for us. But, I thought we settled in again and battled and got ourselves on the board and battle again in the second period. But that's the same old story. Like, you can't fall behind, especially at home. We want to be the initiators in that department. So we for whatever reason, you can't get scored on the first shift.
It seemed like you generated a decent amount, but just the defensive zone was an adventure all night. What was so hard to get things under control there?
They played with really good pace, and I just thought the edginess, like the battles, whether it's stick battles or body position battles, they were more determined than we were tonight, and that in the D zone, that just hurts you so much if you don't win your share or more than half, and we weren't even close to that. So that really leads to them being able to skate and move in the O zone, our D zone, and it creates a lot of difficulty for us off of that.
The missed too many men was obvious, but are you satisfied with the answer you got on the offside review?
It's still a little confusing. We haven't even looked at it again after the game. We looked at it, and from our view, we think it's offside, but that's just a agree to disagree. And I know it happens very fast, and sometimes even the technology doesn't pick it up properly with the angle. So we just got to go on their judgment. And unfortunately, we can't get upset and be yelling and off our game. And I think it took us a little bit to get off a few of those things tonight and settle back down, but we did. But we got to be professional and make sure we're ready to go, no matter what happens. We can't. We can only control our own actions on the ice.
Looked like a little sloppy passing on the first couple of power plays. What did you see there, and then what got you guys on track?
I don't know. I think obviously the 5-on-3 you have to score on. It would have been great to get that next one. Gives you a shot at the end of the game. That would have been a bit of a difference in the third period. They were obviously pressuring us, and I just don't know if we handled it. I thought we tried to force a little bit too much through the middle, spread them out and make the proper reads and then get a solid shot. And I think even 5-on-5, we just didn't pass the puck hard and crisp enough. And I think that was the whole game in all situations. So on the power play, if you're not hard and crisp on your passing, the other team has an opportunity to jump you or make it scrambly for you. So I think that was just sharpness on that part.
Did it feel like Seth was forcing it?
I don't know if he was forcing it, but I think we made a change where when you have a right-handed guy up in that corner and Connor's on that wall, I think they were cheating on Connor with their defenseman, and anytime we put it back down to him, they're jumping it, and we didn't have a lot of success there. So to put a left-handed guy there, it's easier for him to move it to the other side. So that's why we did that in the third period, and we just thought at the end of the second we'd have a chance to talk about it, and then unfortunate we had a chance to do it in the third, but we almost obviously switched it back for the 5-on-3 because we practiced it just yesterday with Seth out there. So that's why we switched it back on the 5-on-3.
Lucas got a little run on the line with Taylor Hall. What did you see from him tonight, and how do you think he's played 2 games in a row?
Pretty good. I thought obviously last game he had a couple quality opportunities. Tonight he had some good bursts through the neutral zone. He unfortunately didn't get a lot of shots through to the net, but still trying to use his speed, which is one of his top qualities. So we're happy that with what we're seeing in that. Excuse me. I hope it leads to more like last game on the opportunities around the net. So we're just going to continue to push and help him do that.
Taylor Hall's 700 career point was overshadowed by everything, but what have you seen from him so far this season?
Well, I like that goal. When it was off and on and off his stick really quick, and I think that's been a problem. And I kind of tried to address the guys in the second period. We stick handle the puck every time we get it. I think you have to cradle it, get it, and shoot it. And in this league, otherwise, a lot of lost opportunities with sticks on pucks. And I think I really like that goal coming off his stick so quick. I know it was a bit of a turnover, but it was a good forecheck just by simply putting pucks behind him. So even a guy as talented as him and good success in the past, we all have to follow that and get pucks deep and forecheck. And when you have your opportunity, it's got to be quick. And I think that's what he did on that goal. So hopefully that can build some confidence in his game. And as he's still finding it. And his body's still kind of recovering to game mode from being off for 9 months.
All right, that is Luke Richardson postgame. We are moments from a break zone here. We're going to get to that in a second, but I just want to as I was hearing that and reading the chat about Luke flipping tables, some people joking, some people not. If you ever talk to the Bears of the Urlacher era, they always talk about the last thing they ever wanted to do was disappoint Lovie Smith. Like, they would play so hard because they didn't want to let him down. Lovie Smith was a piece of lettuce on the sideline. No emotion, but when you let him down and you disappointed him, that was the worst feeling those guys had. You don't have to act that way to get your team to play hard for you. Now, we have seen Luke, like yesterday after practice, he was a little edgy. Mm-hmm. He wasn't screaming and yelling, but you could tell he was frustrated. Maybe didn't love the way practice went. He obviously had to talk about the Kurashev thing. Frustration is there. It doesn't always have to come with screaming and yelling. And I think Mario, you could sort of sense in the video, it looked like there was a little bit of tension in that room too.
Yeah, he's answering for a game that was just bad all around. So it's Taylor Hall got his 700 point. Phil addressed that in the scrum there, but really, you're walking into a situation where there's a lot of wrong to have to correct. So it's not fun to have games like this, and I'm sure for Luke, he's lost well over 100 games in his NHL tenure so far, and there hasn't been a lot of winning here in Chicago, and I think this is a group that is talent for talent the best that he's had. So it's got to be a little bit frustrating for him when some of those things that continued or that plagued the teams in the last 2 years continues on. Now, whether that's actually on him and his coaching staff or on the players is, that's depending on your perspective of things. Luke Richardson isn't on the ice. I would like to see that, the players are executing better and playing better. And it seems like he is short of on his hands and knees begging this team to play a simple game and build from there. And what he talked about, the Taylor Hall goal, the shot getting off really quickly. I lost count, and I have lost count over the last 2-3 seasons, how many times a Blackhawks player has got a puck, has got a shooting lane, and it's a toe drag, or it's a two-touch and then a shot. And how often we just keep screaming, like, just put the puck on the net, shoot for a rebound, do something simple. You don't wait for defenders and the goalies to readjust before you put the puck on net. And tonight there was just a lot of that. And Connor Bedard, like, he has an elite, world elite shot, and he's got this mindset of get to the center of the ice to get the best angle to shoot because you get the most net to shoot from. But man, I just wanted to see him rip shots because he has the ability to just shoot and beat goalies just because of the accuracy that he can shoot with and the snap that he can shoot with. And it just, I'm far be it from me to criticize him and his skill, but it seems like this preference just to force everything to get to the middle of the ice and then to toe drag shot. It just seems like so many sticks get in the way or bodies get in the way. Like, I think this team just, I don't know, you got to grab him by the collar and shake him and say, just play north and south, simple, and then let the creativity build from there. Once you get the simple things down, everything else can kind of blossom from there. And then I feel like with Luke Richardson, like, he's been begging this team to play simple and then let everything else grow. And I don't know, you get small samples of it, but you don't get a string of games or a string of 60 minutes where everything seems to go right.
We got to hit the break zone, but just an observation and kind of following up what you said, Mario, the toe drag, like when Bedard was all alone in front of Lankinen, just forcing that toe drag. Like, I got to change the angle of the shot. Like, just rip it. Just rip it on net, get it past him. And he'll learn. He's 19, right? Like, very few players have made the jump to the league right away. By the way, he is still more than a point per game player. It's not like he's having a bad year. But, yes, I want to see the puck in the back of the net more often. All right, more with Mario Tirabassi to come, including the 4-star of the game and the Who's Your Hawk winner. Spoiler, it's not either of us two here in the studio. That and more up next on CHGO Blackhawks.
Do you hear that?
No.
You should. That's a venture.
Oh.
An adventure is calling. Answer it this October by shopping new low prices during Jeep Adventure Days going on right now at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. Stop and shop in today to browse their huge inventory of new vehicles. And right now, shop electric savings like 0% financing for 72 months on new 2024 Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xe and Wrangler 4xe models. The E means electric. Or shop over 125 vehicles priced under $20,000. Let the amazing team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram help you during each step of your car shopping journey. At Ray's Price Promise, the numbers you're hearing right now are the same prices you can expect to shop in-store and online. That's because Ray's Price Promise means no price changing, no add-ons, and zero hidden fees. So if you're in the market for a new vehicle, you have to check out the team at Ray Chrysler Dodge Jeep and Ram. Because they're the only team we recommend. Visit them today on Route 12 in Fox Lake. For more information, visit raycdjr.com. Serving the community since 1963.
And with all that money you save with Ray on your Ram, you should be able to afford $4 a month, don't you think?
Maybe.
That is our current limited time intro offer to become a CHGO diehard today. It is billed annually, $48 for the full year of CHGO diehardness. You're going to get your shirt. You're going to get access to our premium diehard level content. You're going to get 20% off all of our merch, all of our events, access to our Discord, a diehard member card, exclusive merch, everything you get with a diehard membership. $48 for a limited time. Guess what? The shirts are what, like 30?
Something like that.
I mean,
right there.
It's basically paying for itself.
Plus, you could get to be in our Discord and join the Discord diehards.
Yeah.
Who's Your Hawk?
Exactly.
They're playing their own version.
So if you want to take advantage of this offer, do it before the offer runs out. AllCHGO.com. Click on that diehard tab, then go down to become a diehard, and you will be taken right to the page. $4 a month, $48 charge annually. It's a great deal. We've had 30, 40 some people,
including the hockey son, who said, I became a diehard today.
And that was like as of 2 this afternoon. I haven't gotten an update since then. So people are taking advantage. You should too. It is a great, great deal. So please Join our community here at CHGO Sports and become a diehard today. All right, let's bring Mario back into the show here. And we never actually, because we had PD on, we never actually discussed the 3 stars of the game and the 4-star nominees. 3rd star was Connor Garland, had a goal and an assist. JT Miller with a goal and 2 assists. He looks like Sturgill Simpson, by the way. And Danton Heinen, that's not a real name, had 2 goals for the Canucks. So your 4-star nominees were Jason Dickinson, an assist, and went 13-3 from the faceoff dot. That's 81%. Tyler Bertuzzi with a goal, 5 shots on goal, and 2 block shots. And your winner of the 4-star, Taylor Hall, with a goal, 2 shots, and 3 shot attempts. Taylor Hall is the 4th star of the game. So congrats to him. And, of course, picking up his 700th
career point.
NHL point.
Second guy from the 2010 draft class to hit that plateau. The other guy, Tyler Seguin, who was picked number 2. So number 1 and number 2 from that draft has got over 700 points in that class, and nobody else does.
All right. That's interesting. Fun facts. The more you know. So there you have it. Taylor Hall. And he's really, I got to say, the last 3 or 4 games, you could see him. He's shaking the rust off. And just what PD said last time we had him on, like, Taylor Hall's a guy that wants to score. He wants the puck, and you're seeing that.
Yeah, a healthy Taylor Hall is a big asset to this team, and you're seeing it. Like, he is noticeable when he's out there. He doesn't look like the fastest guy in the world, and then all of a sudden, boom, he gets his speed burst, and he's exactly where he's supposed to be in the blink of an eye. And that's got to do with his high hockey sense as well.
100%. All right, Mario. Anything we need to know otherwise from the locker room? I know it's been a hectic night both on the show and at the rink.
Yeah, I mean, Taylor Hall, speaking to him, he spoke after the game and talked about how, it's just kind of good for him to, he's feeling 100% healthy and just getting back into games. He only played 10 games last year, and I think maybe half of them were at home. So it's just good for him to get some home games, play in front of the Chicago crowd, and start playing well, and kind of getting that, like you said, getting that rust off, getting that confidence back. It was good to see that from him. And yeah, I mean, I think we'll go into tomorrow's practice and see if there's any lineup changes. I know Lucas Reichel got moved around in this game, moved up onto the second line for a period of time. The defensive pairings of Vlasic and Murphy, and Jones and Vlasic, and Kaiser and Jones, they got all shifted around. We'll see what they come out with at practice tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, I wonder if Phil Kershev gets in. I mean, this is a game where there's some guys with performances that were pretty bad. So it'll be interesting to see who is getting the main run in practice tomorrow and Thursday, and who's going to be in the lineup for Friday against a Nashville team still looking for their first win, as last I checked.
Yeah, I think they're winning pretty big tonight, so they should have a win by then. We shall see. All right,
They did win 4-0.
Ah, there you go, 4-0 win.
See,
so
screaming at Brad Marchand on the bench really paid off for the Bruins.
All right, time to reveal the winner of Who's Your Hawk. Greg,
this is a night we all should have been disqualified because they were all embarrassingly low scores, but the least embarrassing low score belonged to Jason Dickinson, who Mario had picked. So Mario picks up the win. Dickinson had 4 points. Connor Bedard, 1.5. And Teuvo Teravainen, fire him into the sun, -3. Yikes. Bedard somehow got back to the positive because both he and Teuvo were -3, which was why Teuvo is a -3, because he literally did nothing else. So there's a guy that, maybe needs a kick in the pants tomorrow.
Yeah, he had one bad game.
But and now because Teuvo sucked so bad, Mario is in first place for the first time this year. I am not in first place. Look at that. A point and a half separating us.
Hey, I got first pick again, though. That's fun.
Yeah, you do. I don't get last pick for the first time this season. So we'll see. And as I mentioned, our pal Dead Hawk is running Who's Your Hawk for the diehards in Discord. And our first diehard winner was our pal Evil Bills, who had Ryan Donato, smarter than all of us.
Look at him.
Ryan Donato had 5.5 points, would have beat the pants out of all of us tonight. So congratulations to Evil Bill. Become a diehard and play Who's Your Hawks with your fellow diehards. I believe there's going to be some prizes.
Yeah, we've got our swag chain here on Set Mario. We can't throw it to you, sorry, but they're going to get their own from our pal Aaron at AG Design 103 on Instagram. If you want to order some 3D printed stuff, he makes earrings and all sorts of cool stuff on there. So check that out. AG Design 103. He is a student at Homewood Flossmoor High School.
You should start
a bit of a side hustle.
3D printing digital antennas. You'd make
See,
a fortune.
oh, now you're thinking.
You'd make a fortune.
All right, Mario, we're going to let you hit the road back to Wisconsin, and we'll see you tomorrow at practice.
Sweet.
All right. Drive safe. Congrats on the swag chain.
Thank you. That's the highlight of the night.
Hey, it makes all the long hours worth it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right, Mario. Thanks, man. Good night. All right, we got some super chats we got to hit before we get out of here, too. $5 from our pal Alan K. Says, during the Dynasty era, which player would get fired up and light a fire? It doesn't have to be a coach, but it should be someone. Usually it was Brent Seabrook, but you had a room full of leaders. So
right. Duncan Keith would
Taves,
yell when he had to. Taves would when he wasn't in the penalty box. I don't know if Kaner was ever much of a yeller because he didn't have to be. But there were a lot of guys. I'm sure Marian Hossa would just have to do like a death stare across the locker room at you, and you'd be like, "Yes, sir, I will be better." But those guys that was a different beast.
We can't get stuck in the comparison
because those guys knew that they could beat any team in the league on any night. All they had to do was just do their jobs.
Duncan Keith was at the game tonight. They showed him, and I literally yelled at the TV, "Get in the game!" I
couldn't have done any worse.
It's so funny when we went to DNVR for our first opener of the season. We went and visited AJ and Rudo and Megan and did a show with them, and we said to them, like, "Don't take this for granted," because we all did. We thought that dynasty was going to last forever.
How's that working for the Avalanche?
I know it just flies by, and like. As much as towards the end, like Duncan Keith was not the same guy, and Brent Seabrook wasn't the same guy, and Taves wasn't the same guy, you just find yourself longing for those days again. So, you know what they should do? Bring back Kaner. I'll throw $1 in the jar. And we got a $10 super chat from TJ, who says, "I'm a clown, so here's $10.
Okay.
Thank you. I saw Jay in the concourse and yelled, "F yeah, Greg," at you. I stand by the comment, just aimed it at the wrong guy. You're all great. Thank you, TJ. Yeah, I mean, so today I went through the concourse instead of through the basement because they were doing the soccer game when I arrived. Walked out the door. Hey, Jay. It was like 5 or 6 people that said hello.
Awesome.
So we're catching on.
Yeah.
We're catching on. It's very cool.
When usually that catches me by surprise because in public, when there's an F, Greg, there's usually not a yeah in the middle there. There's another word that starts with Y.
Yeah.
But it's not that one. So that's a nice change of pace.
Yeah, it's nice. And by the way, if I am if I'm awkward, that's just me. I'm not a dick. I'm just I just don't know how to interact socially.
He's awkward as
I don't
awkward AF.
I don't do people. Yeah, I'm in my comfort zone here. That's about it. All right, we're gonna be back tomorrow after practice. There's going to be a lot to talk about, so don't miss it. We'll be on at 2:30. You're gonna hear from Luke. You're gonna hear whatever the new lines might be. There's always something going down at Fifth Third Arena. And hey, if you want to come watch, it's open to the public. Come watch a bag skate, maybe.
Watch guys puke.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. It's gonna be a big show tomorrow, so don't miss it. 2:30 right here on the CHGO Blackhawks podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.